I'm here with my friend Samir Butt. I recently met him at Brisket King. We were working on certain things, and I thought it was very interesting, and I wanted everyone to meet him. So Samir, tell me a little bit about what you do in terms of profession-wise.
So I'm a filmmaker.
Okay.
This is my deep dive hobby, baking bread.
Yeah. So Samir told me he was like into baking bread, and I asked him to bake me one, and look at this beautiful thing. So, how did you learn how to do this?
Fell down this deep rabbit hole because the bread I was getting in the States in plastic bags, which I was eating, just 200 calories a slice, right? So I just started studying and trying to make it by learning from the internet. This was like 12, 15 years ago. And then I went to Paris. And I studied over there. And then I kept going back subsequently, and I took more classes and studied more. And then kind of learned the bread science. These programs are designed for bakers who actually, bake like 50 loaves a day, and I was doing like one loaf every like week or so. So then I went to Italy and I worked with this amazing chef Pino Ficara, who taught me how to improve my bread game, really.
So for this bread, should we rip it? I got a bread knife.
You want me to cut it, or you want to do it? Yeah,
you cut it. It's like if it was my brisket, I would want to cut it. So
all right.
No, I don't think I ever had bread like this. This is really...
That means a lot coming from you, it means a lot. I'm humbled.
I've been searching for a good bread guy, and maybe he
I'm
needs to quit a job
like,
and work at Kimchi Smoke.
That's very, very kind of you.
I ain't lying. This is it's very clean tasting. A little, of course, it's sour because of the sourdough, but the texture and just the simplicity, but it's just perfect. I mean, you got a nice crust. Wow, it's like I'm getting like chills. Seriously, it's like this is like a life-changing moment. And maybe you had one of these when you were in Italy or France.
I did, yeah. And that was the thing. I wanted to replicate that flavor. And it's always like a magic trick. You set this up 2-3 days ahead of time, and then when you bake it, there's that moment of holding your breath. Is it going to come out the way it did the last time? All right. So now take a bite. So for me, the test of the bread is I want like the slight sweetness of the crumb, because that's where the sugars have all caramelized.
Right.
When that's got the chew, then the inner part that's soft, that's like where the sourness, the bite from that comes. Do you sense that?
Yes.
So that's the goal for me when I do this.
It's amazing. This is I could taste his labor of love in this thing. I mean,
thank you. It's
like,
all for you.
It's like seriously, this is the best piece of bread. I mean, I almost don't want to finish it.
Finish it. I'll bring you more.
I could just look at it because I don't know when I could have bread like this. It's amazing that someone who doesn't do this for a living could do this. But I appreciate.
It's very, very kind of you to say.
It's just amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, it's my pleasure. I mean, I can't ever imagine doing this for a living. When someone I care about, like a friend, I give them the bread and they really enjoy it. And so it's I'm humbled because I'm a big fan of your work.
Oh, thank you.
And I was very nervous about making this because I was like, this guy's like a world-class spit master, and I'm bringing my little
That's amazing.
my easy bake oven stuff to him, So.
We don't need any mustard and no mayo, no barbecue sauce, nothing. I mean, it's a perfect combination, seriously. I mean, this brisket with the sourdough could be a menu item. I mean, I know he doesn't want to bake me this bread, but this is it's fabulous. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And, lo and behold, we got some
Let's do
kimchi.
this.
Let's brisket, kimchi, and his sourdough. I mean,
Let's do this. there's like 4 flavors that come right through, right? So you taste the salt, you taste the fat, and then that kind of hint of that sourdough gives that hint of acidity.
Yes.
And then the chew, the texture is what makes it perfect for kimchi smoked brisket. So,
Yes, I think so.
So
If we add kimchi even to this, it could be on a different level because this is fermented, kimchi's fermented. That is
perfect combo. The
perfect
brisket
combo,
complements it
right?
really well. Yeah.
the saltiness of the bark and the smoke, pepper with the sourdough. Wow.
Yeah. I don't think I'll be able to enjoy this without having your brisket every single time. So I'm going to make the bread again in a couple of days, and it's not going to taste that good because I'm not going to have your brisket with it.
We just have to meet more often.
You know, you were saying that you grill in your off days, right?
Yes.
So it's the same for me. Like there's a zenness to this that I love. There's a sense of surrender, right? Okay. Like you do everything, you can do everything right, and the bread may not come out right because it's, you know, it's all these things. You know, there's a certain amount of nature and natural chemistry that has to come into play.
But do you feel like you're in control, or
at some point you have to let go of control, and that is a scary thing. And that's also like there's something very like freeing in that. Like I'll give you an example. This morning, I took it out of the fridge. It'd been fermenting for 2 days, and there 3 days. So I took it out of the fridge, and then, you know, you let it come to room temperature, and you do the stretch and fold and everything and all that. And so I put it in the oven, and then I use a cloche to cover the thing, so it gets, you know, because I have like a regular home oven, you know, it's
all right.
So to keep the steam in there, and I don't know what's going on for like 10 minutes because I can't see what's happening, right?
So I think it's similar to barbecue because, you know, the brisket might take 12, 13 hours, and, you know, we get tempted to look at it, but you just have to have faith that, you know, the smoker, the oven, or whatever, it's like doing its thing, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, you don't want to pee because then moisture escapes, smoke escapes, and then the cooking time gets, you know, out of whack. So how do you know when this is done? I mean, do you set a time, or how do you pull the bread from the oven?
So you know, when I'm working in my kitchen, at different times of the year. Well, first of all, this gets super nerdy. I keep a bread journal.
All right.
So every loaf I've ever written, ever made, I've written like detailed notes about it. Okay. So there's the Sour Cho. So I basically, you know, because I know, like for instance, in January, I have to alter the timing, the chemistry a little bit different than now, right? Because of the temperature. But so I use that. So it's, you know, I kind of have to rely on skill, faith, sometimes notes, you know.
Okay, so I totally understand that, you know, depending on the different weather conditions. But I'm saying, like, for today, do you set a timer, or do you have to, you know, I don't think you do internal temperature.
No, I do a timer. So the first one is like by time. And I have enough confidence where, like, a few months ago, you know, something, like, I was doing everything right and there was something off, and I was like, there's something wrong with my oven, because given everything that's there, you know, the chemistry is right, there's something wrong with the oven. And sure enough, there's something wrong with the oven. The seals were escaping heat. So I do have a sense of time. Like today, I knew that this had to be in the cloche for 12 minutes. It had to be out of the cloche for this much. Spray it after this many minutes. So
do you touch it to know it's done?
I don't touch it.
You don't touch it?
I don't.
Smell?
I do smell it, and the sound. Like when I take it out of the oven, it has to have that crackling sound.
Yes.
If I don't hear that within 10 seconds, I stick it back in the oven.
All right. And does it smell a certain way when it's done as opposed to?
Yes, like, it does. I mean, it smells like a French bakery. So it smells awesome.
Sourdough, Texas brisket, kimchi.
Man, that's amazing. Something else, Rob.
This
something else.
You know.
So, I hope you enjoy the the Sour Cho.
Sour Cho. I mean, is it a C-H-O or is it a C-H-O-U-X?
C-H-O. Sour Cho. Yeah.
Oh.
Sour Cho.
There's another dish named after me.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The Sour Cho.
Sour Cho dough bread. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And thank you for, you know, I get really inspired meeting other passionate people who care about their craft, you know, not cutting corners, and just, you know, who love, you know, it's just about excellence.
Whenever you want some bread, let me know.
Okay.
It'll be my pleasure, and it'll be my honor to make some for you.
Thank you.
All right?
Let my people show, baby.
Let his people show.